Welcome to the Power of Oxygen First, where we scale your life first so your business can actually breathe. I'm your host, Dot Rock. Oxygen First means you protect your energy first. You build your life first. You take care of your nervous system first. Then you scale. Because success without oxygen, that's just burnout with better branding. Around here, we talk about real leadership, how to hire your peanut butter instead of just doing it all yourself, how to fire with grace when something's expired, no more breadcrumbs, how to grow or go, and how to receive support without apologizing for it. This isn't hustle culture. It's sustainable success. It's leadership with oxygen. So let's pause and take a deep breath. Let's build something that actually feels like home. Well, hello, my podcast friends. Welcome back to the Power of Oxygen First. This is the place where we scale your life first so business can actually breathe, so you can actually breathe in your life. As you know, I'm Dot Rock. I am a professional breadcrumb burner, as I like to say, and I'm your guide to building businesses that don't suffocate you, and generally just lives that don't suffocate you. And here's the thing. I have a lot of new listeners, which is really exciting, and also a lot of people asking, where did Oxygen First start? So I just want to talk a little bit about that. As many of you know, but some of you don't know, I am a pilot, just a private pilot. It's something that I do for fun. I absolutely love to fly. Now, I haven't flown since I moved and relocated to Fort Collins, Colorado in July of 2025 because I've started a new life here and I've got all kinds of things that I'm getting in order and systems I'm getting in place and getting my son settled. And honestly, settling into a home just takes time. But I'll be flying again. But the concept came when I kind of crashed a plane, just a tough landing when I was soloing alone. I was just doing some touch and goes and I smashed that plane pretty hard. And the day that I did that, oh gosh, around 10 years ago, I realized everything in my life was out of alignment because it's like driving a car and you just end up somewhere. I didn't know how I ended up there and how I was so absent in an airplane that I was flying alone that I almost crashed. Like I just kind of missed the mark. Pun completely intended because I really missed the landing. It wasn't a good landing. That being said, I hadn't flown alone that much at that point in time. So, I'm very human, but it really made me realize there's a reason in airplanes, pilots have to put on their oxygen first. They do not put it on their passengers, they put it on themselves first because no one else can land the plane. And that's what it's like in life. No one else can land the plane for you. And no one else is going to get to the end of their life, your life, and think, oh gosh, I should have done more. Oh gosh, I wish I had gotten everything done on my to-do list. I don't believe that. I believe we're all going to wish we had been more present. I believe we all will wish we had more experiences, more stories. My son is 13 now when I'm recording this. And you guys, we're getting closer and closer to him going to high school and him going to college. He's a seventh grader, but we will soon be in eighth grade. It will soon be 5 years before he is out of this house. And I do not want to regret anything. I don't want to say, I wish we had spent more time together. My little guy is an athlete, like I was saying, and that means we travel with his sports teams. He's done hockey and football and basketball and jujitsu, and baseball is now his current sport. And one of my favorite things as a parent is the pitter patter of feet running down the hotel hallway, headed to the pool as a team or with some of his teammates, because I believe those are the things he will remember. I don't believe he will remember if he lost or won most of his baseball games, but I do think he will remember how he felt, and those are core memories. So, tomorrow is opening day of baseball. I am a baseball fanatic. I love opening day. Okay, it's opening day at the Rockies. It's their first day playing in the stadium. It is not opening day of baseball. That was last week. But it is opening day here, and it's the first day we get to go to a game in person. It's a Friday, it's Good Friday, and my son is off school. And if he wasn't off school, quite frankly, we would not be going to school. We would be going to the baseball game at 2 o'clock. And also, I get to every baseball game 2 hours early at a minimum because we love batting practice the very most. And yes, I take my mitt with me every time. I love baseball. It's a core of who I am. I grew up going to games with my mom and with my best friend Amy, and I love baseball. And I love baseball with my son. As many of you know, but some of you don't know since you're new to the podcast, we are on a baseball tour where we are trying to go to all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums together. I've been to 22 without my son, but now he and I are at about 8 or 9, I believe. And we have some trips planned for this coming summer to mark a few more off of our list. We want to mark them all off of our list by the time he graduates from high school, hopefully. So we've got about 5 years to do that, to make those memories. And that is why I believe in Oxygen First. Like I said, tomorrow is opening day, and that is something that is sacred to me. But I'm sure there's something that is sacred to you, right? And what are those moments that you're savoring? And what are those days that you're not working because you have sacred rituals or sacred things? And for me, baseball's sacred. So there are just a few things in life I won't move, not for a client emergency, not for a last minute fire, not even for anything that feels really urgent to my clients. Tomorrow is a day off of work. And trust me, all kinds of things have come up this week that could make me work tomorrow. But opening day of baseball season is something I want to have as a memory with my son. Now, also, he's injured from baseball this week and he is really struggling to weight bear. He injured his foot, but we're still going to make it happen. We're still going to go to the game. We've got friends to lean on and support us, and we can go to the game. But here's what I'll remember. It's opening day of baseball, and I'll be there with my son, with people I love deeply, and doing something that reminds me what life is actually for, what my business is actually for. Because here's the thing, there is a version of me that still exists that would cancel going for work to get more done, to do more. There's a version of me who would have said, I just need to handle this one thing. I'll go next time. I can't let my clients down. That version of me was exhausted and honestly resentful. I don't want to live my life like that anymore. And that's where Oxygen First comes in for me and for my clients and for all of you who are listening to this podcast. That's exactly what Oxygen First is and why it exists. Because if your life only works when you sacrifice the things that matter most, it's not working. Oxygen First means you put on your oxygen mask first. That is honoring your needs, your desires, the things that call you, whether it makes sense to anybody else. It doesn't matter. If my clients don't support me going to opening day, they shouldn't be my clients. And I know I have to put bread on the table. I have to make the money. But I believe in living in a life of alignment and that the money will flow to me if I live in alignment. Not everything has to be done. Not everyone has to be taken care of. I have to be taken care of first. Oxygen First means our energy is our greatest asset, and protecting it is not selfish. It's actually self leadership. It can be business leadership, it can be parenting leadership, but leading from this place, I know has set an example for my son that I see living out in him right now and all the time. Right now, is he perfect? No, he's a 13-year-old boy who can be a real jerk. But he's a good kid and he takes care of himself. He has a skincare routine. He showers regularly. He works out every morning at 5:30 in the morning before school, 5 days a week. He practices baseball in the garage. He knows what his brain does when he takes too much screen time, like getting on an iPad. He still doesn't have a phone. You guys, he's a 7th grader, and that's rare these days. So I know that I'm doing something right. I'm setting boundaries for myself that he's watching, and I'm also setting boundaries for him. So let's just be honest about it. Half of you listening out there right now in your life, you're being the peanut butter and the jelly and the bread and the Uber Eats driver bringing the sandwich, right? You're doing it all the time. No wonder you're tired. You don't have to do it all the time. You just have to start small. I believe in scaling your life first, taking care of your health first, and really asking yourself every day at the beginning of the day and through the day, what do I need in this moment? For me, it shifts a lot. I'm recording this podcast at 7 at night. Why am I doing that? Because I don't want to think about work or anything related to work or even the podcast, which is the passion project, tomorrow. I want to feel free. For me, Oxygen First looks like sitting at that baseball stadium tomorrow, fully present, not checking my phone every 5 minutes. In fact, forgetting my phone, except for the pictures and memories and the videos I'll be creating. I don't want to be mentally running through my to-do list. I do not want to be wondering who needs me, but I want to actually be there with my son, with my people in a moment that I will never get back. I want to get Dippin' Dots. I want to eat hot dogs. If I could drink beer and not be gluten-free, I would, right? I just want to enjoy and soak in the sun and hopefully not too much sun. It could be cold, who even knows? I want to feel it all. And I hope I catch a foul ball or a home run ball, but I just want to be there. I want to see my son try to get autographs and run around, hop around since he can't run, but I want to soak in those moments. They're really important to me. And it's why I've created this business. It's why I work for myself. It's my why, because sometimes that's what Oxygen First really looks like. It looks like choosing joy. It looks like choosing peace. It looks like choosing really small, sacred moments, especially when life has been heavy. Because healing doesn't always look like doing more. Sometimes it actually looks like doing less and feeling more and letting the universe do more for us. Many of you know I have been through a hailstorm in my life the last 2 years. I went through a sudden divorce. My son was in the hospital 4 times in one school year. He missed 21 weeks of 6th grade, which also means I was barely working on my clients. I wasn't growing my business. I was just doing what my clients needed to deliver basically the minimums of what they needed and get everything done and to them, right? It wasn't a fun 2 years, and we moved. But here we are. I still struggle with health issues, but part of my process is to put those first in my week, in my days, so that I can keep showing up here, so that I can keep showing up for my clients. And I can especially keep showing up for my son, because raising him to be a good man with habits and rituals and joy is really important to me. And having him see me constantly stressed is not what I want. I want him to see me as a resourced single parent. And it's not easy, you guys. I break down, I cry in front of him, I get stressed. I am not perfect, but I do constantly go back to these philosophies of Oxygen First. And especially in my business, it means I stop building something that constantly pulls me away from my life. I leave the house at 3:20 every day to pick him up, and then I basically make him food, visit with him, and then get him to his practices or whatever that is after school. So that means between the time I drop him off at 8 a.m. and 3:20, I need to do my work and connect with my clients. And I'm writing a book and working on this podcast and supporting some amazing, amazing clients, you guys, and helping clients fire with grace and helping companies learn my grow or go technique. But what it does mean in my business is that I've also had to stop being the bottleneck. It means I hire out support, like real support, peanut butter and jelly support, so that I'm not the whole entire peanut butter and jelly sandwich and the Uber getting the food, because I believe that people will make your life easier, not heavier. I have created hiring roadmaps that work in my business, processes that work that I share with clients, because when something really matters, like opening day, I know my team's working. I know I've already delegated everything. I know that I've done and set up systems and processes to hand things off so that I can be fully present at opening day. And I'm so grateful for my team. They make this possible, and we work together to do this. So that's why I built this whole Oxygen First ecosystem to help others actually do this, to help people see where their time and energy are leaking. The podcast is really about that, and hoping that people will hear the message and start receiving the kind of support that lets them live fully again. That can be asking a neighbor for help, that can be trading time for childcare so that you get some time alone. Look, I'm a single mom and I need time alone too. So sometimes I have to ask friends to take my kid to the movies or do something with him because I don't have time. I have him all the time. So one thing I say to people who are new is try to start with the Support and Breathe return on investment calculator that I have at rockconsulting.com. It's a great first step to get integrated into the process and how this works here at Oxygen First. But I just want to reiterate, you don't need to earn your life. I worked like that so much of my life. You don't need to prove your worth through exhaustion. You definitely don't need to miss the moments that matter just to keep everything afloat. It's not healthy and you'll regret it. I know I will if I were to have kept living like that. So before you go, I want to leave you with a closing walking meditation or journal prompt. So I encourage you to go for a walk with no phone, no podcast in the background, just you, no music. Just ask yourself this. What am I currently saying yes to that is costing me something sacred? And what would it look like to protect that instead? Maybe it's time with your kids. Maybe it's your health. Maybe it's just rest. Maybe it's something you haven't even let yourself name yet. And here's my second question. Where do I need support so that I don't have to keep choosing between my life and my responsibilities? Just notice what comes up. No judgment, just awareness. You can also journal these 3 questions. What am I currently saying yes to that is costing me something sacred? And what would it look like to protect that instead? And where do I need support so I don't have to keep choosing between my life and my responsibilities? And just remember, when you're journaling, I like to point out that it's like being Superman. You can identify where you need support in ways that you may never actually receive their support, but dream big and pretend like everything is possible. Like having somebody cook your meals is possible, and clean your house and clean out your car and pick up the kids from school if you don't want to, all the things. What would it look like if you could just journal that? It's just the first step, and it doesn't mean you can't have it if you write it down. I, in fact, believe when you write it down, it makes things start happening and makes us start solving little problems. I will never forget during COVID, I signed on for the Zoom workouts with my CrossFit gym, and I was doing those every day. And then I was also like walking a lot because we were stuck at home. Who knew how long it was going to last? But I loved to walk the dog. So I was walking every day, and I thought, what would it look like if I could like be active, moving 2.5 hours every day? What would it look like if I could work out and walk 10 to 15,000 steps a day? You guys, it seemed completely unapproachable and unavailable. And now in my business, 6 years later, I pretty much do that every day. I make it a part of my business. I attend meetings while I walk. I feel so alive in a way I didn't back then. So just remember, you get one life. You don't have to spend it carrying the whole damn sandwich. Just put on your oxygen mask first and honor your needs, your desires, and all the little things that call you. Sending you all my love and some deep breaths until next time. This conversation reminded you that you don't have to do it all alone. That's your cue. Go download the free Support and Breathe Return on Investment Calculator at rockconsulting.com. It's a quick, slightly eye-opening way to see how much time, money, and energy you could reclaim with the right support. And remember, support does not always mean hiring. Sometimes it's a simple ask. Sometimes it's a boundary. And sometimes it's finally letting someone be your peanut butter. If something in this episode resonated, please come tell me. I'm on Instagram at @._rock_, and I genuinely love hearing what lands for you so I can create more of them. And remember, your energy is your greatest asset. Protect it, invest in it, and always put on your oxygen mask first. I'll see you next week.